Former WWE CEO Vince McMahon has settled with the SEC and will pay more than $1.7 million over failing to report prior hush money agreements. Now, he has since released a statement saying the case is closed, but we've also got another statement from Janel Grant's attorney suggesting the lawsuit involving him, WWE, and John Laurinaitis is not closed just yet. Malakai Black seemingly is on his way out of AEW. Eric Bischoff has commented on the negative reaction received by Hulk Hogan from LA during the Raw premiere episode on Netflix. Ric Flair could be on his way back to WWE at the Royal Rumble. NXT is going head-to-head with AEW Collision this weekend. I've got an update on the latest when it comes to The Rock versus Cody Rhodes, possibly happening in the future. Alexa Bliss, her return, we've got details on that. Corey Graves, is his return to NXT a one-time thing, or is there scope for more? Speaking of commentary, Tony Schiavone was absent from AEW Dynamite this week. We'll let you know why. We'll let you know also the details on the impending returns of Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair to WWE television. Was there any heat on Travis Scott for lighting up during his Raw entrance this past Monday? Tessa Blanchard versus Jordan Grace is confirmed for TNA Genesis. Moose is set to debut a brand new TNA X Division Championship, and Raven makes an appearance on TNA Impact. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with the latest regarding Vince McMahon and the latest developments in the hush money payments scandal. Now, the Securities and Exchange Commission, also known as the SEC, said Friday that World Wrestling Entertainment co-founder Vince McMahon will pay more than $1.7 million in relation to charges that he failed to disclose payment agreements related to sexual assault charges. The SEC said McMahon circumvented WWE internal accounting controls and caused material misstatements in the company's 2018 and 2021 financial statements. The SEC added that McMahon agreed to the settlement without admitting or denying its findings. He will pay a $400,000 civil penalty and reimburse WWE approximately $1.331 million. Quote, company executives cannot enter into material agreements on behalf of the company they serve and withhold that information from the company's control functions and auditor, Thomas P. Smith Jr., Associate Regional Director of the New York Regional Office, said in a statement. Now, we do have a statement from Vince McMahon himself that he's posted on social media. It's also reflected in several articles reporting this news. He said, quote, the case is closed. Today ends nearly 3 years of investigation by different governmental agencies. There has been a great deal of speculation about what exactly the government was investigating and what the outcome would be. As today's resolution shows, much of that speculation was misguided and misleading. In the end, there was never anything more to this than minor accounting errors with regard to some personal payments that I made several years ago while I was the CEO of WWE. I'm thrilled that I can now put all of this behind me. Now, we do also have a statement from Janel Grant's attorney. Of course, the lawsuit involving Janel Grant, WWE, and also John Laurinaitis is still ongoing. This is what the statement says. Today, the SEC found that on 2 separate occasions, Vince McMahon violated the law when he paid hush money settlements in an attempt to keep allegations of abuse against him quiet. And Callis, attorney for Janel Grant, the former WWE employee and sexual assault and human trafficking survivor, released the following statement, quote, during his time leading WWE, Vince McMahon acted as if rules did not apply to him, and now we have confirmation that he repeatedly broke the law to cover up his horrifying behavior, including human trafficking. The SEC's charges prove that the NDA Vince McMahon coerced Ms. Grant into signing violates the law, and therefore her case must be heard in court. While the prosecutors for the Southern District of New York continue their criminal investigation, we look forward to bringing forward new evidence in our civil case about the sexual exploitation Ms. Grant endured at WWE by Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis. Now, going back to the SEC part of this story, the SEC alleges that McMahon failed to disclose one $3 million payment paid to a former WWE employee and another $7.5 million paid to a female independent contractor in exchange for their not filing claims against him. As a result, the agency said the WWE overstated its 2018 net income by approximately 8% and its 2021 net income by approximately 1.7%. The Wall Street Journal reported in 2022 that McMahon had paid a total of $12 million over 16 years to suppress allegations of sexual misconduct and infidelity. Last January, McMahon and WWE were accused of sex trafficking and abuse by a former employee. A day later, McMahon stepped down as executive chairman of TKO, the WWE's parent company, and relinquished all roles with WWE. In May, U.S. Department of Justice prosecutors signaled they had opened a probe into the January allegations, which were filed by Janel, a former paralegal who was offered employment with WWE in 2019 following the death of her parents. The settlement comes as Linda McMahon, Vince McMahon's wife and former WWE CEO, prepares for Senate confirmation hearings to be Education Secretary in President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet. Of course, we get any more details on this, of course, we'll let you know in an upcoming video. Now, let's talk about Malakai Black and his possible exit from AEW. Now, there has been a major update on the future of Malakai Black in AEW amid speculation regarding a potential return to WWE. In the opening bout of this week's AEW Dynamite, Will Ospreay took on the House of Black's Buddy Matthews, with the Englishman picking up the victory. After the match, Ospreay paid respects to his opponent, saying that Matthews and his House of Black stablemate Brody King don't need to follow a leader, alluding to absent AEW star Malakai Black. Matthews seemed to take Ospreay's comments to heart, leading to speculation regarding Black's status in the company and a potential return to WWE. Fightful Select would provide an update on the situation shortly after the match, stating that those within AEW expected Black to be finishing up with the company if he hadn't done so already. Now, Fightful Select have added a further update to the situation, revealing that is in fact the case, with Black not expected back in AEW. It's not yet known when Black will be officially done with the company, as he is currently still listed as a member of the company's roster at present. Fightful had previously reported that Black's contract could potentially be up in 2025. However, option years did exist that could extend his deal, with AEW President Tony Khan previously stating that the former WWE star is under contract until 2027. Speculation regarding a WWE return for Black has been prevalent since the Dutch star requested his AEW release back in September 2022, shortly after Triple H first took charge of creative in WWE. Black was one of Triple H's most heavily pushed stars during the black and gold era of WWE NXT, holding the brand's top prize for 102 days in 2018. Of course, we get any more details on this story, we'll let you know in a future video. Now, people are still talking about the reaction that Hulk Hogan received during the Netflix premiere episode of Monday Night Raw this past Monday on Netflix. And during the debut of Raw on the streaming service, Hulk Hogan made an appearance to promote his Real American Beer and celebrate the Red brand's transition to streaming. However, Hogan's presence was met by an unfavorable response from the live audience at the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, as the crowd booed the six-time WWE champion throughout his promo. Former WCW executive Eric Bischoff and longtime friend of Hogan has reacted to the negative response Hogan received, explaining on his podcast 83 Weeks that the poor reception was possibly due to the Hulkster's right-wing political views as part of the most recent presidential cycle. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised, I guess, with the reaction that Hulk Hogan got. And then maybe I remembered, oh, it's California, and he's been campaigning pretty hard for a different color state. What did you make of Hogan's appearance tonight, Eric?
Yeah, if you're someone who hasn't spent a lot of time in California, particularly LA or San Francisco, you've heard all the stories about how liberal it is and all that. But until you've been there and realized just how intensely liberal and Democrat California is, you might not think that could possibly be the reason why Hulk got booed. But Hulk and Trump are kind of joined at the hip now in the eyes of many, at least publicly, given Hulk's involvement in
even the shirt he wore tonight. I mean, he leaned into it tonight.
He did too. And of course, you're gonna have some backlash in California.
Yeah, you just are.
You can't be shocked. You can't be surprised. You could be disappointed, but can't be surprised.
Now, could Ric Flair be on his way back to WWE? Well, according to a new report, he could be back on WWE television very soon. Mike Johnson of PW Insider has reported there have been talks within WWE about the company bringing in former Royal Rumble winners for the upcoming Royal Rumble Premium Live event. The two names under consideration within the organization are Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Of course, Duggan won the first Royal Rumble in 1988. Ric Flair won the 1992 Royal Rumble to capture the WWE Championship. The 92 Rumble is considered one of the best editions of the match in WWE history. Flair has not appeared on WWE programming since he was granted his release from the company in September of 2021. Flair has since appeared for All Elite Wrestling as part of Sting's retirement tour, although Flair and AEW parted ways following Revolution 2024. Flair was reportedly planned to make a cameo at AEW's Collision taping from Charlotte, North Carolina, but plans for Flair's return to AEW were ultimately scrapped. The Royal Rumble 2025 will emanate from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana on Saturday, February 1st. Now, a big update when it comes to AEW Collision this weekend because there will be wrestling competition for the show coming from WWE. Interestingly, NXT New Year's Evil will be replayed. Fans will watch a replay of NXT New Year's Evil on Saturday, January 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern on the CW network. The replay will go head-to-head with AEW Collision, which airs at 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT, with a simulcast happening on Max. Of course, the live airing of NXT New Year's Evil drew 957,000 viewers and featured an appearance by The Rock and 2 major title changes. Speaking of The Rock, of course, he's been all over WWE television this week, and many are wondering just what are the plans for him possibly facing off against undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes. Well, Dwayne The Rock Johnson appeared to bury the hatchet with Rhodes on the Raw Netflix premiere on Monday. The show of respect has fans curious about The Rock's plans for WrestleMania, as last WrestleMania seemed to make it clear that Rock was on a collision course with not only Rhodes, but also his cousin Roman Reigns. Quote, he did the angle for the match with Cody, he pinned Cody at WrestleMania 40, and then blew off the match with Cody. The explanation is he can do whatever he wants, Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio, mentioning that WWE needs Rock more than Rock needs WWE. Quote, the Cody match is dead for whatever reason. I don't know if Rock wants to be babyface now. The Roman match is not dead. I don't think it's going to happen, but I don't know. Meltzer believes that even if there is a match between the final boss and the tribal chief, it likely won't be at WrestleMania. Quote, Rock is the only one who knows if the match will happen, Meltzer continued. Right now on the books, that's not the match. He can say, you know what, I want to do it this year, and it will be done. Rock also appeared on NXT following Raw and taking time to appear with his daughter, NXT General Manager Ava, as well as facing off against Ethan Page. But many are wondering if indeed the Cody match is indeed dead. Alexa Bliss, she could be on her way back to WWE television soon. Former Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss is nearing a 2-year absence from in-ring action, but according to a new report, that soon might change. Following months of teases from Bliss, WrestleVotes notes that her highly anticipated return is finally on the horizon as the WWE creative team has begun factoring her into future plans. Furthermore, merchandise and promotional materials related to Bliss are said to already be in development. Bliss, now 33 years old, last wrestled at the 2023 Royal Rumble Premium Live event in a losing effort to the Raw Women's Champion at the time, Bianca Belair. Shortly after she appeared on the 9th season of The Masked Singer under the guise of Axolotl, Bliss's run spanned 6 episodes as she was eliminated alongside Holly Robinson Pete, also known as Fairy, on the special Country Night edition. In May 2023, Bliss announced her pregnancy, with she and husband Ryan Cabrera later welcoming a daughter into the world that November. Anticipation for Bliss's in-ring return has ramped up in 2024 when she revealed herself to be working out once more. Since then, she's kept fans on their toes with even more teases, including one ahead of the Raw premiere on Netflix, in which she indicated her hope for 2025 to be blissful. Last time WWE fans saw Bliss, she appeared to be under the eerie spell of Uncle Howdy, who is now leading the Wyatt Six stable. Upon her return, however, it is possible she could revert back to one of her former personas, such as the Goddess. Now, just what is going on with Corey Graves and NXT? Well, the New Year's Evil edition of NXT saw a number of high-profile moments, but one that caught everyone off guard was the surprise appearance of Corey Graves as he joined Vic Joseph and Booker T on commentary. Fans have noticed that WWE has been shuffling their broadcast teams around as of late due to Raw and SmackDown transitioning between networks and streaming services, but according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, Graves appearing on NXT was not a one-time deal. Quote, yep, he's going to be off the main roster until football season, then he'll come back, Meltzer said. He was the best color guy that they had. I mean, he was the best, and now he's in NXT instead of on Netflix. Look, they're always going to go with Pat McAfee because these guys are into star power, and man, McAfee's become a huge star in the sports world, so they're always going to go with him. The choice of Wade Barrett over Corey Graves, and Wade Barrett's really good, but it was an interesting choice, and that was the choice they made. Graves had been the play-by-play announcer for SmackDown until August 2023 and has become a staple of the broadcast team for over a decade after being forced to retire from in-ring competition due to concussion issues. So it looks like now we're going to be having a 3-man booth every Tuesday night. Now, speaking of commentators, a bit of an update here when it comes to Tony Schiavone. The January 8th AEW Dynamite in Clarksville, Tennessee saw a lot of high-profile moments, including the return of Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay's first match of 2025, and Powerhouse Hobbs winning the Casino Gauntlet match. However, one man that missed all of the action was Tony Schiavone, as he was absent from the Dynamite commentary desk. But on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer confirmed that fans shouldn't look too deeply into Schiavone's absence, as he missed Dynamite due to family-related reasons. Quote, "Yeah, so he wasn't on the show tonight, and it's nothing big or anything like that. I mean, people, when he wasn't there, I started getting all these people going, oh my God, did he get suspended for the text? But it was just a family situation. He's fine. He'll be back, I presume, on Saturday. It's not anything to be alarmed over. It was just a family situation and he missed one show. So that's the situation there." Now, many people presume that AEW had punished Schiavone for his comments regarding New Japan Pro Wrestling English commentator Chris Charlton and his anti-AEW remarks during the Wrestle Dynasty event on January 5th. In response to the remarks, Schiavone posted on X that Charlton can GFY and that he needs to take a shower, but deleted the post almost immediately. Schiavone has been a staple of the vast majority of AEW shows since the company's inception in 2019 and has only missed 2 of AEW events in 2024. Those were the January 17 Dynamite due to illness and the March 30 AEW Collision due to his dog passing away that morning. Now, going back to WWE, a bit of an update here when it comes to Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. With Becky Lynch reportedly re-signing with WWE and Charlotte Flair nearing a return following a serious knee injury, a new backstage update has revealed their statuses within the company. According to WrestleVotes Radio on Sportskeeda's Backstage Pass Patreon, both Lynch and Flair are now backlisted on WWE's internal active roster ahead of their return, with their respective brands also being revealed. Quote, "We're told both Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair names now officially appear on the current internal active roster once again. As of early this week, we can say that Becky Lynch is set to return on the Raw brand, while Charlotte will make her home on Friday night, so a little status quo there." Now, prior to both stars' WWE absences, Lynch had been representing Raw, while Flair last competed as a member of the SmackDown roster. While her brand affiliation doesn't seem set to change, Flair has seemingly been teasing a character change of sorts ahead of her return, something backed up by a recent report. Lynch, meanwhile, was featured in an advertisement for Raw on Netflix ahead of the January 6th premiere, but did not appear during the show as many fans expected. Now, speaking of Raw, many were wondering, did WWE know just what Travis Scott was going to do this weekend? Well, the backstage reaction to Travis Scott smoking a joint during his entrance on the Raw Netflix premiere has been revealed. In what was a much publicized appearance beforehand, multi-platinum selling artist Travis Scott appeared on the WWE Raw on Netflix premiere in Los Angeles on January 6th. When making his entrance with Jey Uso from within the crowd in the Intuit Dome, Scott was seen smoking a joint during the entrance, making for a moment that led to much discussion among fans online afterwards. In the latest episode of WrestleVotes Radio on Sportskeeda's Backstage Pass Patreon, it was revealed that WWE were not aware beforehand that Scott was planning to smoke during his entrance. However, there was said to be no heat on the Houston rapper afterwards, with the company still having major plans for him in the future. Quote, "We are told there is no heat on Travis Scott for lighting up during his entrance with Jey Uso this past Monday night, according to a source. They were unaware that was going to happen and was in no way approved by the company, but everyone played it off well and the show moved along. WWE is said to have major plans for Scott in the future, and we are told this did not impact any future initiatives between the parties." Now, it's not yet known what these major plans will be for Scott, but of course, if we get any more details on that, we'll let you know in a future video. Now, going over to TNA Wrestling, and a big match has been confirmed because Tessa Blanchard will face Jordynne Grace at TNA Genesis on January 19th. The bout was officially announced on the January 9th episode of TNA Impact, where Blanchard once again attacked Grace. The two were separated by officials, and Santina Marella announced the match for TNA Genesis. This will be Blanchard's first match in TNA since 2020, when her contract was terminated by the company while she was still the reigning TNA World Champion. She returned to the company at TNA Final Resolution. Speaking of TNA, Moose is going to be revealing a brand new TNA X Division Championship very soon. On the January 9th episode of TNA Impact, Moose and Alicia Edwards tossed the TNA X Division Championship aside, revealing he will debut a new title at Genesis. He said the title would be fit for the face of the franchise, and then called the current X Division Championship the ugliest title he's seen in his life. After Moose spoke, he was challenged by former TNA X Division champion Andrew Everett. Seemingly, we're going to find out what that title is going to look like at the upcoming pay-per-view event. And finally, Raven made an appearance last night on TNA Impact. Raven returned to TNA Wrestling, making an appearance on the January 9th episode of TNA Impact. Raven appeared in a segment with Rosemary. Rosemary said that Master Slamovich is predictable and she could smell her fear. Raven asked if Rosemary was ready, and she proved she was ready by putting a knife to his throat. Raven suggested Raven's Clockwork Orange match, and seemingly that's going to be taking place very, very soon. Of course, Raven won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship whilst it was under the TNA Wrestling banner. He has made sporadic appearances for TNA Wrestling over the years, including being inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame back in 2022. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.